The Improv 2 Saga presents another episode of Psychic Nightmares. The sun blazes over your head. A long bridge. Cars are stacked bumper to bumper. The air wisps and moves. The heat is unbearable. A young man sits in his car, his window rolled down, his eyes repeatedly shutting and opening from exhaustion, his face drenched with sweat, sticky, wet. His clothes cling to his skin. He looks out his window. The waves of mist and heat. It is unbearable. In an endless stream of concrete and metal, reflecting the bright sun into his eyes. Scarcely he can see a figure running in his direction along and in between the cars, banging on windows, shouting. He can't hear him. But as the figure moves closer and closer, he sees another person, another man, maybe middle-aged, a few more people behind him, a few children, a young female and another young man. They bear no striking similarity between them, no familial relationship. Nothing connects them except for the fact that they're all banging on windows of people's cars, screaming, "Get out! Get out! It's coming!" As the young man looks out his window, they approach him. "Get out! It's coming!" "What? What's coming?" "The heat wave! It's coming!" And the elderly man points off into the distance ahead. And he can see it, the horror. A stream of white, bright lights, slowly coming forward. Fire escalating in the distance as cars and people are lit alight. Mustering all the strength he can, he unbuckles, slams open his door, and begins to run away with the slowly growing crowd of survivors running. As he runs, he can feel the strain in his legs, the burning in his eyes, the horror as he looks around to see the sky slowly brightening to a purifying heat wave of white. He looks around to see other people in their cars, passed out from exhaustion, heads slumped over, eyes shut. And he watches in horror and despair as their cars slowly drip and melt, and the people darken and crisp. He runs as fast as his weary body will allow him, occasionally looking back. He can hear nothing, but he can see a white pillar slowly encroaching in from behind. Faster and faster he runs, but his head is pounding, his body cramps, sweat pours off of his body, leaving a trail of dark behind him, but only for a moment before it is quickly evaporated. At the end, as he continues to help the others bang on doors, trying to find those they can save, he notices one small child crying. He watches and tries to slam open the door, but it won't work. It's too hot. It burns his hands. He pulls back. The child is too close to the window to break. On the other side, there is a very large person, dark and black. He can't see through. But he moves over to the other side, slamming his elbow against the window, shattering it. Inside, a large, crisp, undiscernible individual remains motionless in his way. The child, crying, screaming. He can see as the heat begins to take its toll on the poor creature. He tries to crawl around what's left of the charred person to reach the small child, but he can't. He moves to the passenger seat in the front. Again, he tries to open the door and burns himself. And again, he slams his fist through the window to shatter it, to unlock the door so he can reach the child easier. But as he presses down, the plastic molds to his fingerprint. The car is melting. The child is screaming. The heat wave is approaching. It's getting closer and closer. He can feel and smell his clothes and his body beginning to singe. The child's screaming. He pounds on the window. And in one desperate attempt, he smashes through to grab the small child. But the glass is strong, and he is too weak. He continuously yelling and screaming. He can hear a voice in the distance. "There's nothing you can do. Come on." He shouts back, "I gotta try. I can't leave her in there." The child's screams become desperate and maniacal. He watches, desperately trying to open the door to save her, as the heat wave slowly approaches. Thank you, and good night.